Imagine not recognizing your brother, your mother and father, the people you love most.
I haven't got any memory of any of my family. I can't ever recall a memory, an actual time that I did something with someone from my family.
Imagine those closest to you, divided over what memories you could and couldn't have back.
He said he went from one day not knowing who he was to the next day having all these people around him that claimed to be friends, family.
People were trying to pick and choose what they wanted to put in David's mind, but everyone's got different views of what happened in David's life.
Imagine having absolutely no recollection of the world in which you live. And imagine not knowing when or if your memory will ever return.
It's like somebody has just turned the switch and all it needs is somebody or something to switch it back on again.
In December 2005, 25-year-old David Fitzpatrick lost all memory of who he was and where he came from. He was suffering from a rare form of memory loss known as psychogenic fugue.
On the 4th of December 2005, I was outside King's College Hospital with no recollection of who I was, how I got there. And I've seen people walk past me and people are asking me, am I okay? And it was just like, it's overwhelming how many people was asking me, but just shocking that I couldn't remember anything.
Having been admitted as an unknown male, David's case was referred to the Missing Persons Unit.
When I first saw David, he was just sat up in bed, very polite, very calm. He had no signs of any injury at all, head injury or anything. The hospital say he hadn't had any alcohol or any drugs. He was just a fit young man who had no memory.
Unable to recall his identity, David lay in hospital for 4 days. And then there was a breakthrough.
The police came in with some maps of the local area, just told me to look through, maybe something might become familiar. I looked through for a good 3 or 4 hours, and eventually just one road just rang a bell, and it turned out to be my football chairman's address.
The address David recognised belonged to the chairman of his football club and the father of his best friend.
David had gone missing for 3 or 4 days, and so when this call came through, we knew immediately what it was all about. We were shocked to hear that he was in hospital, but we were also relieved that he'd remembered this address.
Once we was at the hospital, it was a case of finding out where he was, but of course no one had his name. So when we was at the front desk saying, "Is there David Fitzpatrick here?" it didn't make a difference because he was us unknown male.
For the first few seconds, he was trying to explain to me like things about me, and I was just overwhelmed.
The room was filling up. There was suddenly nearly 10 people in the room, all wanting to talk to him at once, all wanting to ask him questions, and he obviously didn't have the skills to answer because there's no memory there.
For David's family, that first meeting in hospital was a traumatic experience.
He knew that Mum and Dad was coming because he was told that Mum and Dad was coming. And I put my arms around him and cuddled him in the bed and said to him, "I've been looking everywhere for you." I told him that I was sorry. I didn't know where he was. But he didn't know, because he didn't know me. He didn't have no reaction whatsoever.
She was holding me as tight as you can, but for me, I just had like a stranger holding me.
It has been very hard, yes. I felt as if I could do something, but I couldn't. And when I went in there and he said he recognised me, I was overwhelmed with it. But then later found out that he had been told that I was coming up, so he just put two and two together, and he actually didn't actually remember me.
Many experts came to see me, and the longer I seemed to be in hospital, the longer they kept telling me my memory would take to come back. So like the first person I saw would tell me, yeah, your memory could be back within a few days. And then after a couple of days, it would be, your memory could come back in a week. And after I was there for a week, it would be like, they sent some real experts to see me, and now they don't know if it'll ever come back.
When David Fitzpatrick suffered a psychogenic fugue, it wiped out his memory, his identity, and all knowledge of family and friends. Now he is embarking on a journey of discovery to see whether he can regain his memory and recover his past.
I mean, obviously I need to take this sort of journey to try and find out what's happened to me. I don't know if it's going to help or not. Hopefully it will. My feelings about it are mixed in certain ways, because obviously I feel I need to do this to try and get some of my memories back. But then again, if I do this, maybe I'll come across something that made me have my fugue to begin with.
On the 4th of December 2005, David Fitzpatrick was a normal 25-year-old with family, friends and memories. That afternoon, whilst travelling on a train, David suffered one of the rarest forms of memory loss ever recorded. The condition, known as a psychogenic fugue, wiped his entire memory clean, leaving him with no identity. David was later found wandering in a confused state and admitted to King's College Hospital, London, with no knowledge of who he was or where he had come from.
A fugue state is a psychological mechanism to escape lots of different things. I mean, in a sense, one might want to think of it as being a kind of psychological form of taking a holiday from oneself. And if oneself is in difficult circumstances, then a holiday might be just what's called for. It involves wiping out the past, removing the past, not allowing yourself to have a past.
David still has no idea why he suffered his fugue. His aim now is to rediscover the family that was wiped from his mind. But David will soon learn that memories can also be painful, as he confronts the reality of his troubled life before the fugue wiped all memories from his mind. David Fitzpatrick entered a fugue state while travelling on a train. By shutting down all memories, his mind was trying to protect itself from traumatic events.
What I know, when you go into a fugue, something happens in your brain, makes you shut down certain emotions, certain memories from the past. It also puts you in a state of, like, you're not aware of things around you, and possessions sort of mean nothing. Obviously myself, I ended up putting down my phone, my wallet, my money and my keys, and then I just sort of like wandered off so we can gather.
After David left the train, he made his way to the street where his friend Kevin lives.
I know that I got here at some point because all my possessions were found in the back of his boot, which I have a spare key for. I would have pretty much opened up the boot and took out my wallet, my keys, and just, for some reason, just flung them in there. That would have been it. I would have, don't know, just disappeared.
David had left his wallet and his identity in the boot of his friend's car. 4 hours later, he was admitted to King's College Hospital.
Basically, there's like 3.5 to 4 hours of time which is unaccounted for. And obviously I know at 8:30 I ended up in the hospital. But in them 3.5 hours, people just assumed that I came from my friend's house straight to the hospital. But that would have only taken about half an hour.
Neither David nor his friends have any idea of what happened in those missing hours.
Finally, here we are at King's College Hospital's accident and emergency. The earliest memory that I have is just standing just over there on my own and sort of just walking through them doors.
David will never know for certain what happened in those missing hours. But his friends have given him an insight into the man he was before he fugued, and it's proved to be a painful experience. Memory makes us who we are, but it can also trap us in the past. David's fugue wiped out his previous life story, but it also gave him a chance to write a new one.
Everyone always says from after Christmas, January, right, I'm going to have a fresh start, I'm going to join a gym, save loads of money, go around the world, do whatever, and no one ever seems to do it. And this fugue, if any positives have come out of it, has given me a fresh start, because I'm back at zero, no matter where I've ever worked or how much money I've saved or whatever I've got, which it doesn't matter. I can start now. This is when my life starts. Fair enough, I've lost 25 years of it, but that makes no difference to me. Within the next 5 years is probably going to be the most important years of my life. One, making sure that this fugue doesn't happen again, and two, making sure that my life is in complete order, including a house, a proper career. I want to head to the top. My daughter, I want to take her with me. Hoping my family and friends are okay on the way.
Next week, the series continues with a look at a blind teenager who's developed a unique strategy to cope with his disability. There's more on that in just a moment. And coming up next, on 5, we're on the outside with the Fox River 8. It's all new Prison Break in just a mo.
As soon as I wake him up, he's clicking, you know. When he was very young, I used to always tell him, Ben, make your sound. Even when you're running and playing, don't forget to make your sound. That's his survival technique.
The Boy Who Sees Without Eyes. 9 o'clock next Monday on 5.